Hey, Clay.
Mr. Diddy. Daddy.
Alright, family, alright. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live and direct. I want to send shouts out to Miss Aisha Hill for joining us. Alright, so now we are doing folk tales for grown folks, but y'all know I had a few technical difficulties and I got to make some announcements and I got to play my commercials and stuff like that. But hey, I want to welcome everybody to the journey, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening in the future. You know what I'm saying? I want to send shouts out to you. I want to thank you for taking the time, stopping by Gye-Nyame Journey 567. 5 parts of the human being, 6 emotions, and 7 principles. We nation building all the time. So, hey, I just want to make sure y'all understand. I just want to make sure that y'all understand that this show is a life changer. The title of the folktale tonight is The Wolf, the Fox, and the Ape. Tune in. Because it's gonna be live, but I gotta go on and let the commercial play real quick. I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent sinner. I pledge to find and connect with my sinner. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warrior and to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace. Peace, fam. Yo, this is Brother Hatim coming at you live and direct. And of course, y'all know this is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I'm your host, Brother Hatim, and this is Folk Tales for Grown Folks, where we constantly strive to blow up those old paradigms. Alright, before we get into the show, fam, of course y'all know I got to go on and take me a sip of the ambrosia, right? Got to take a sip of that ambrosia, right? So what I want to do is I want to introduce you to, once again, I got the grape. The grape is brewing. So those people that want to try that grape, I got a few bottles that will be available. It'll be available by Nia, those that's on the journey, right? Those that's on that Nguza Saba 21-day challenge. Y'all know what it is, right? Now, I wanted to announce those individuals that are taking the Gye-Nyame Journey, who are doing the Gye-Nyame Journey's 21-day Nguza Saba Challenge, right? You get, let me say it, you get the price for every $2.50 that you donate. I ain't donate, that you give to Gye-Nyame Journey, right? Because we a business. I ain't non-profit. Every $2.50 that you give, you get a bottle of ambrosia, right? $2.50. But everybody else, you know what I'm saying? You want one, it's $7. You want more than one, it's $5 a piece. If you want more than 11, it's $3 a piece, right? But for those individuals that are taking the Nguza Saba Challenge, right, it is $2.50. No matter where you are, of course, if I have to ship it to you, you got to pay shipping and handling, right? You got to pay shipping and handling, right? But the whole piece is I'm trying to build, right? So I got a product, and we are going to push it out like crack. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I can think about that I can use to describe. So let me go on and make sure that the live stream is up. All right, cool. Live stream is up. I wanted to make sure I'm gonna put it on there so that y'all can take the Nguza. Some of y'all can take the Nguza Saba Challenge, right? Now, Nguza Saba Challenge. Cool. So now, hopefully it'll post up. There you go. All right, cool. So now, for those that want to call in, the call-in lines will be open in approximately 15 minutes, maybe sooner. And the number is 614 556 4535. So now, what I'm doing, I'm experimenting. My wife went out and got me a speaker. Well, she got a speaker for the house. So I'm using the speaker to try to see if I can make it louder for those of you that are on, that are listening on Facebook, because the interviews that I had was kind of low. So I got a speaker off to the side. So hopefully the sound will come through just a little bit clearer for you, right? We're trying to make this a powerful experience for all those that are tuning in to the journey. Today is Kuji Chagalia, and of course, as you start focusing on the principles during the day, you start noticing stuff, right? And I really started understanding today, just a little bit more, how important culture is. Our cultural framework, a culture provides the framework through which we see the world. And if you do not have a culture, then the framework you are seeing the world through, actually, you're not even seeing the world through your eyes. You're seeing the world through the framework of the culture that you exist in. So right now, as Africans in America, we are not really seeing reality. We are seeing somebody else's culture. We are seeing somebody else's effects on the world. From culture comes your economics, from culture comes your politics, from culture comes your social, your whole social groupings and how you deal socially. From culture comes your dress, from culture comes your food. So if your culture has been totally destroyed and somebody else has imposed something on you, that is a horrible way to exist, as some of us can attest in America, right? Now, and I know some of y'all like, it ain't so bad, but it would be so much better if we was able to deal in America from a standpoint of strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour me a glass of ambrosia. So I don't want to go too much into that, because tomorrow on the Daily Toast, I'm mixing it, y'all. I am going to, this is doing with a little bit of grape, a splash of grape, you know what I'm saying? Y'all seen my grape thing over there. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. Right? Because I'm telling y'all right now, the issues that we're having right now is issues of culture. I got to call in. I'm going to let them in. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Brother Shaka, So I'm going to go and let them in so we can jump off. Hopefully y'all can hear that a little bit better. If y'all can hear it good, give me a thumbs up or something.
This call is being recorded.
All right, brother. This is Brother Tim. Welcome to Hotel Brunch. Shaka, you care? All right.
I can hear you loud and clear. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hopefully they get you better on Facebook because I plugged in the speaker. I'm making sure that I think right.
Okay. How I sound?
Oh, you good. You sound good coming through that expensive speaker. Sound better, sound good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna have some problems with the people I bought from. Yeah, this one is for kids. All right, so now, like I was saying,
tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to discuss this folktale, but first, I was going through some of the stuff that I kind of discovered tonight. And I was telling people about the price of the ambrosia. And, of course, somebody's going to call, and he can't, unfortunately can't get through right now. But the whole issue is, on my Coogee Chagalia Day, I noticed how important culture is. I noticed how important culture is, right? And a lot of us are sleeping on the whole cultural aspect. I ain't saying going back wearing dashikis. I ain't saying walk around in sandals all day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying putting on a loincloth and carrying a spear. I'm talking about culture, right? The importance of culture and the importance of culture when it comes to a people. Because the culture that helps people define the world. If you don't have culture, it's like being naked in a business room. You go into a business meeting and you naked. All the other people are dressed, but you're not. And in a sense, a lot of us as African Americans, we experience being naked to the world every day. So people they have to sell us pieces. So we get our shoes from China. We get our pants from Europe. You know what I'm saying? Or from West Asia. We get our we get our hats from India. You know what I'm saying? We get our shirts from South America. You know what I'm saying? And we got a hodgepodge of cultural things that are not even ours. And we need to build on it. All right. I want to send shots out to Shaka, brother. Brother, thank you for sharing. Now, we're about to get into these folktales real quick. Oh, man. Ambrosia, good. Shouts out to Calvin Harrison. Thank you for joining us. We're about to break down this folktale for those that are interested in calling. The number is 614-556-4535. Let's chop it up. Let's get into these proverbs and save some lives, right? All right. This one is called The Wolf, the Fox, and the Ape. A wolf accused the fox of theft, but the fox entirely denied the charge. An ape undertook to adjudge the matter between them. When each had fully stated his case, the ape announced his sentence. I do not think you, wolf, ever lost what you claim. And I do believe you, fox, to have stolen what you so stoutly deny. And the moral is the dishonest, if they act honestly, get no credit. Once again, the dishonest, if they act honestly, get no credit. I'm going to read it one more time, and then we're going to move in and break this down. A wolf accused a fox of theft, but the fox entirely denied the charge. They undertook to judge the matter. When each did his case, the ape the sentence. I do not think you, wolf, ever lost what you claim, and I do believe you, fox, to have stolen what you so stoutly deny. The dishonest, if they honestly get no credit. That's folktale. So now, let's look at it and look at the ramifications of my life. Shaka, do you want to jump into that one first? Or do you want me to jump on it?
You know what? I'll give you my first impression, which is typically kind of far off from where you go. So I think, just for contrast, I'll give you my first impression of what that is. The judge is saying on one hand, I don't believe that what you claim was stolen was actually taken, and to the one being accused, that I do believe that you have stolen what you claim you have not taken.
Right.
Was that the verdict?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I were to bring this into a conversation of oneness, I would always lead to the fact that you are always your greatest nemesis, and that there is no detriment nor virtue that you can ever experience from another unless you have first discovered it within. So if we are speaking of or if we're speaking of any of the virtues, no matter what it is that you project, most of the time, just like we had this conversation before, I'm now remembering how things that you hate in others are the things that you have yet to accept in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe I'm just way off track.
No.
So
Let me say this. Your definition, for all those out there, your definition is your definition. And each time we speak, we never know who we affect. Right? So the piece is, there is no right answer. You know what I'm saying? It's just conversation. You know what I'm saying? We could disagree about certain points and stuff like that, but the whole piece is, there is no, because I'm about to go all the way in left field with this shit. I'm in a nation building mood like I am every day, so I'm going to apply this to building a nation. Now, first off, the fox claimed this, the wolf claimed something was stolen, and he said the fox stole it. They went before a judge who happened to be an ape, and the ape said, Wolf, I don't believe you lost anything. But Fox, I do truly believe you stole something. Right? So now, basically, this saying that your character precedes you. Right? Now, that's basically what you're saying. Your character always goes before you. So one of the things we got to work with ourselves as well as with our young people is getting them to understand the importance of their character. Right? The role that you play in life. That's what characters. This is the role that you play. If you've been playing the thief, if you've been playing dishonest, if you've been playing breaking promises, then when it comes time for people to believe you, they're not. Regardless of what you say. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. You opened up the conversation talking about culture, and now that I reflect a little bit about it's the fox, and what's the other animal? It's the wolf and the fox.
Right.
If the wolf and the fox were symbolic of two different cultures, it becomes a lot clearer.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a lot clearer.
There's a third culture there too.
Fox, I know your kind are conniving and are thieves. So I'm not going to say that you're not a thief, because this is what I know you to be.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you little black kid. You know what I mean? I know you don't mean no wrong. I know it's just the way you was brought up. This is what I expect from you right now.
This is what I expect from you.
So it's not saying, right.
You know what I'm saying? You steal. We know you steal. You know what I'm saying? So the whole issue is the whole character. And if you look at them as groups, because there's actually another race in there, the race of the ape. You got the race of the fox, you got the race of the wolves, and you got the race of the apes. And the ape is judging both of them. Right? The ape, wolves, we know you up to no good, and fox, you always up to no good. So I'm just going to say that both of y'all, wolf, you lying, fox, you stole. You know what I'm saying? So he called it as they acted. Right? You know what I'm saying? But he, basically used he didn't, actually, we don't know if he even really listened to him. He might have zoned him out, and he'd be like, yo, I mean, both of y'all is always into something. So he judged him.
I got a lot to say about the culture of the ape, man.
Go ahead.
I got a lot. Yo, I've been through it. I've tried to represent myself in the planet of the apes, and the apes look at me like, yo, unless one of us vouch for you, you ain't got no voice here. Even though we're the judge of you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you get one of us to advocate your case, you have no voice. So we keep pushing you aside until you get it right, and at the end of the day, ape is basically taking a cookie-cutter solution that is already written and designed for him to gain the most, beyond the fox or the wolf. You understand?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, And this goes straight into the reason why Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz. It was to prepare the American people for the change of the state of affairs when it comes to the state of commerce. That is the absolute reason why in 1900 he wrote The Wizard of Oz, to prepare them for what eventually caused the Great Depression. Was when the apes tricked us, the foxes and the wolves, to trade our real wealth for this paper shit that's worthless. Send it over to the Federal Reserve, and you know, for those who follow that allegory, the rest is history. So the ape has a way to maintain a certain standard of or illusion of diplomacy while secretly taken from both societies and both cultures.
Now, so speaking of society, so we got the ape, we got the wolf, and we got the fox. The wolf and the fox had a difference. So they went to a judge, which means that where they existed in this mystical land where foxes and wolves and apes can talk, they have laws.
I just got done watching Zootopia.
Huh?
I just got done watching Zootopia. This is all so real.
It's just, hey, okay. In Zootopia, where they're able to talk.
Zootopia is real.
Where they could talk, right? And in this place, there are laws of the jungle. And both of these individuals wanted to be heard by the laws. This is my question. If a fox, a wolf, and an ape can set up laws and abide by these laws, you see what I'm saying? Why can't we? Because every culture has rules and obligations, right? But even the fox, even the wolf, even the ape understands that there are rules that need to be followed. The question is, if they could set up, because if they got laws, that means they got a legislature, which is a group of individuals that legislate or make laws. The question is, as a people, why haven't we made the rules that make it easier for us to maneuver in the system? Not only just maneuver in the system, but be able to approach the system in power so that we can get what we need done. The ape said in judgment, you know what I'm saying? They didn't take it outside and look for a man. They kept it right there in the jungle. Even though the ape is wrong. Even though the ape is sitting there judging them on the past rather than looking at the stuff that they're dealing with right now. Like, you know what I'm saying, what they call that stereotyping. The ape stereotyped them and called them both true to their character, right? Because we don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? The ape. Go ahead.
Now, just on the devil's advocate shit, I know this fox who right now is on Facebook venting about other foxes because he owns one of the most highbrow jazz restaurant establishments in Cleveland. And he recognizes that when other foxes come into his establishment, they hold him at a different standard because he's a fox.
Right.
And they're more demanding because he's a fox.
Right.
Oh, the food wasn't right, so we want it free.
Right.
You know? But none of these foxes would ever dare do that in the wolf's den.
And now, let me say this. Because now we're gonna get off of foxes and wolves for a second. What you describing right there, right, brother, is the problem of our people. Well, we always want stuff for free, especially when it comes from each other. When none of us have really a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. right? And we always demand supposedly higher quality from each other. But why is that? You know what I'm saying? That goes back to the lack of culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of us don't understand, man. That this whole cultural piece is so important because culture sets the perimeters for how we deal with each other. You can't have a culture unless there is some type of economic flow, economic life. You can't have it. You know what I'm saying? Even beyond just the nation building, the culture is what allows a nation to flow. So if the foxes are not working together, the fox's whole culture is in collapse, and will be taken over by the wolves. You know what I'm saying? The way we treat each other, right, is a sign that either our culture has totally collapsed or there is no culture. Because there is no way.
One step deeper, Hakim.
Go ahead.
One step deeper. If this is the way that we treat each other, what is it that we truly believe? What is it that we truly believe about ourselves and about our culture, our behavior, and what that means to our survivalhood? Because when it comes to, because when we talk about culture, we're talking about a distinctive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond all the things that you know that makes a culture, a behavior is definitely key. It's the same sentiment from the level of house. In a household, if we're so, let me get straight to the point. Even though we want to, in our minds, treat black businesses the same way that we do other businesses, there's something deeper in our minds that makes us fool ourselves to believe that either A, we are just as good and our establishments are just as qualitative, or B, because we're not connected directly to the wolves, we don't have the same power that the wolves have. So I am going to treat you this way because I know that there's lesser repercussions of my disrespect in a manner of these manners in your establishment. I get to show my ass a little bit more because you're a fox amongst fox.
So the foxes, like I said now, so in a sense, what's going to happen is eventually there will be no foxes. Because culture is what protects the foxes from the wolves. Now, eventually, the foxes will totally turn and become servants of the wolves. And if you look at American culture right now, is that not the position that we are in? We serve others because we don't have a culture. Culture lays down the norms, the mores, the rules. You know what I'm saying? It lays down all of that so that we can deal with each other. But if we can't deal with each other, right, there's no culture.
Yeah.
Culture monitors relationships. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And without it, we become subject to the wolves. We become subject to the ape. We have to go and kowtow to the ape and ask for justice. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And this is the position that we're in. Because first off, our characters are molded and shaped by the culture. Now, if the culture is broken or the culture is non-existent, then the individual has no purpose beyond himself, right? And if it's just about him, then he's going to do everything to make everything better for him. So he's going to kowtow to power and take advantage of those who are less powerful. Why? Because there's no cultural framework to guide him or her. And we look out in our community, as you say, we got a bunch of foxes taking advantage of other foxes, disrespecting other foxes, robbing other foxes, abusing other foxes, selling poison to other foxes. And
Right.
It's okay. As a matter of fact, the more foxes that I destroy as a fox, the higher my profile. the more respect I get.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's because of a lack of the cultural framework that's there. Because like I said, culture frames how you see the world. And a lot of people don't want to get that. Right? And once again, I go back. When we talk about black folks, I'm not talking about you putting on a kufi. I'm not talking about you putting on kente cloth every day. I'm not talking about you wearing sandals. I'm not talking about you carrying a spear or whatever other strange shit pop in your head about African culture. Right? But what I'm talking about is the mechanism that's there that allows us to truly respect. Now, the definition or the example that I give to my kids about respect is respect. Respect is simply respect. Seeing again. You see somebody again. You see somebody for who they really are. You take a deeper look at a person and you find the similarities between you and them. And you try to work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have been stripped of any meaning, right? Because when you look at the culture set the purpose for an individual. It helps set the purpose for the group, and the group set the purpose for an individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the group vision of or purpose is non-existent, what does that leave for the individual? You know what I'm saying? If that is what's going on, then we got a lot of problems, man, because the whole issue is, one, there's so many different ways that we could come about this whole cultural piece. And all of us don't even have to be all of us. We just need to have small little pockets where we have agreements on how we are going to behave amongst each other. Like, for example,
it's only going to happen one way.
Huh? You say what?
It's only going to happen one way.
Well, that's sort of what the religions say, though.
No. I get it. But I'm not talking religion, and I'm not talking politics. I'm talking from a more organic place of process. That is the natural process. The thing is that we never change the world. We never bring down or lessen the level of detriment in the world. We only displace ourselves from it by the decisions that we make and the illusions that we draw to make it seem like we made the right decision.
Right.
That's all there ever is.
Now,
am I wrong?
No. But the point now, the other issue is, like I said, culture helps form what an individual sees. Now, this was even deeper because I'm getting into this tomorrow morning. If your culture is broken and it's been shattered, right, then there's a possibility that the whole world you've been seeing is not even real. It belongs to somebody else. Right. You are existing in somebody else's world, which reduces you to a servant because you're not even seeing what's real. As black people, we're not seeing what's real. We're not seeing what's really going on. Why? Because we have been educated, trained to exist in somebody else's cultural framework. And because we're caught in their cultural framework, freedom is the farthest thing from us. I look at you, Shaka, from the cultural framework that I've been trained in, and I see you lesser than. Or you might do the same for me. You see all the things that separate us. We're supposed to see all the things that separate us, and that's what we've been operating in. Just like the foxes and the wolves and the apes. We see what's different.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And because we see what's different, some of the most basic decisions that we make, like, for example, the thing that I'm getting on tomorrow is righteousness. Because when you look at it from a cultural framework, the idea of what we have as righteous is not even righteous. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy because it flips It flips the whole world. When the fox is trying to see the world, I mean, because Aesop fables do it for us all the time. Aesop always shows us animals trying to be other than themselves. And by trying to be other than themselves, they always find destruction. We have people.
Now that can be.
Go ahead.
On the other side of that coin, that can be evolution as well.
Well, evolution don't require a disguise. You understand what I'm saying? Evolution happens. You understand what I'm saying? Evolution happens. I agree with you. Evolution happens, right? But evolution does not have to be. You can't fake evolution. Evolution is something that is needed in order for you to survive. That's where evolution happens.
Right.
Evolution just don't happen in a vacuum where motherfuckers are sitting in front of TVs playing games and able to walk to the refrigerator and open it up. Evolution don't happen in comfort. What happens in comfort is de-evolution. You devolve in comfort.
Hey, and for example, I remember hearing the lyrics by Common on a Black Star album where he referred to a young man from his community, and he said something like, it's fun to think that Lil Homie has never seen it pass downtown. So in this young person's world, his world is that side of Chicago. Like, he's never seen beyond that point, beyond that view. Now, what percentage of young people do you think from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, it's all about the device in their hand, some sustenance here and there, but really in our world, living through the virtual world, which in real physical space, it doesn't take nothing but a 4x8 space for them to reside in that. That to me is a de-evolution from 20 years ago when that lyric came out to right now. But it's like, yo, I see it from day to day. A kid can stay in the same bedroom from day to day if not given any instruction to behave differently.
And what gives him the instruction? See, and that's the piece where once I was talking about culture, like, for example, our kids and their behavior, some of our kids and their behavior in school, right? What's the use of school when overall there is no purpose for me? I mean, everybody know I'm part of an unwanted population. So why do I need education? Why do I need to go to school? Why do I even need to act right? You know what I'm saying? Culture sets the purpose. Culture drives individuals to move and master the universe, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal of culture. But when you look and we go as black as a group in America, if we are a group, you know what I'm saying? What is the overall arching goal? All I want is roll it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is that what it's about, getting man-made items? Or is it about being able to master the universe? Finding out what is the mystery of life. Finding out what's beyond the city that you live in. You know, I'm looking for opportunities so that you can grow, your family could grow, your tribe could grow, and your nation can grow. But if nobody's there to put that in you, and the only thing that you hear about, and the only thing that you're being shown is somebody else's culture and their goals, and you looking at yourself and you don't fit into that framework, why should you act right in school? What motivation do you have to act right in school? If I am a fox in a wolf school, if I am a fox in the ape school, you know what I'm saying? What reason do I have to act right? They give me tests where they're climbing trees and shit. I'm a fox.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They doing classes on taking down caribou in groups. I'm a fox. I can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not designed for that. And everybody's looking down on me because I can't do it. I can't take down the caribou like a wolf, and I can't climb the tree like the ape. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody looking at me and saying that is something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take somebody and you put them in a culture, right, that says, hey, not only do you come from this, you're capable of this, and look at your big cousin, look at big homie, look at what he's doing. Dude, you supposed to take his place. And I ain't just talking about on a damn basketball court. But we're not doing that. Right? And then on top of that, man, like I said, the piece that hit me hardest about this folktale, for those that are just tuning in, the piece that hit me hardest about this folktale is that even these animals had rules and regulations. They had a culture. They had a legislature with that laws was laid down. I know I'm looking at it kind of deep, but I have no choice but to do that because that's my job. This is what I do. Every Tuesday. Oh, I owe 7 push-ups. Every Coogee Chagalia. This is what I do. I have to look at them deep. Why? Because I honestly believe that these folk tales, these fables, these proverbs are basically crystallized wisdom, and I have to mine for it. Right? So there's a lesson in there. One about character, right? The character that you live is going to be the character that people judge you on, regardless of what you do. If you do something outside the character, people still going to judge you on the character that they know. 2, culture is ultimate. From your culture come your economics. From your culture come your politics. From your culture comes how you deal socially. From your culture comes how you deal psychologically. From your culture comes how you deal militarily. And we have been bamboozled into believing this whole universal shit. I can't wait till tomorrow, man. I'm gonna smash this shit tomorrow. Really. On a daily toast tomorrow, those who are not tuned in to Gye-Nyame Journey, to Brother Hatim, tomorrow, I am going to shatter your fucking paradigm. I have no choice because we cannot continue moving this way. But go ahead, brother.
So I'm going to go, actually, I'm going to just moonwalk slightly to the left with this one. Going back to the foxes. Going back to the examples of the different cultures. I believe that we live in a time where the foxes are raising dolphins. So, just to make it clear, or to try to, outside of this analogy, we got indigo children being born who already know balance. And it's our character, our nature, our cultural identity opposes that force, we only push them into more discomfort in the educational process because they know from start that we are keeping them in balance. So they're totally disconnected, which means that they grow to a state of distrust.
Right. A state of discomfort, in constant pain, in constant confusion. They feel 3 of the 6 emotions that they need to feel, and they really don't know how to deal with it because we're not able to teach them because we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Your culture helps define these things for you. So they're being raised, they've been raised, think about it, man. You have abilities. You hear voices. In this culture, in the culture we've been raised in, that's called crazy. You know things that you shouldn't know. In this culture, that's called crazy. You know what I'm saying? You're able to hear, you're able to see things that other people can't see. In this culture, that's called crazy. So, so I'm going to get you drugs, right? You're not able to, you learn doing, right? I could put you on something and you could pick it up by doing it 10 times faster than anybody else. You don't need a book. All I got to do is show you how to do it. Boom. Like the kids with the remote controls, right? They don't even read they just open it, boom, 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 give them a tablet, boom, boom, boom. They don't read nothing. They explore, and after a while, they showing you stuff, right? But we believe in the way that we've been educated that the only way that you're supposed to learn is at sitting at a desk. It's sort of like taking a dolphin and like giving him a swimming class, or having a course for birds, saying, "Hey, y'all need to sit down and learn to fly. All right, here, let me give you the rules. All right, you got the right wing, you got the left wing. You move them in synchronicity at the same pace, at the same time, maybe at 50 flaps per second, right?" When the bird automatically know that. We're trying to educate people on stuff that they may already automatically learn or automatically know, and then we test them and they can't pass the test, and then we just say it's something wrong with them. So when you talk about these indigo children, or as our ancestors have always called them, because that indigo shit is new, we call them old souls. They're coming back. Right? And they're exposed to the confusion. They're exposed to the lack of purpose. They're exposed to the lack of responsibility. They're exposed to the fuckery. They're exposed to the poisons in the food. They're exposed to addictions at a young age. They're exposed to sex too soon. They're exposed to all types of negativity around them all the time. And they're super sensitive. And they've been here before. And the confusion on them is a little bit deeper than somebody that might be new to this incarnation. Until, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? You just hit the nail on the head, man, because it brings a whole new conclusion to are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat, not just from a physical standpoint, but mental. If all you eat is unhealthy for you, for example, we can talk about food, but let's talk about what information we're feeding our kids, or the information that we leave for them to eat without us even digesting it. Putting our kids in front of YouTube and the internet all day long, we have no idea what they have access throughout the course of the day. We have no idea how our children have been manipulated unless we're there to guide them. And a lot of times, after they have established that distrust for us, they stop asking. They'll trust Siri for the answers in the directions before they'll trust their own mother.
Rightfully so.
Is this true or not? I don't know. Maybe I'm just far.
No, see, and like I said, once again, dude, that's what the show is for. We start off talking about the folktale. We move into other stuff, right? Because the folktale opens up discussion, nation building discussions where we are able to reflect on where we are in our lives right now, where we are in our communities right now, where we are in our groups right now, where we are in our tribes right now, where we are in our jobs right now, where we are in our life right now, and really evaluate. See, most of us aren't taking the time to really look at where we are. We're not really looking at. This is why I'm using the term 5, 6, 7 now. It's 5 parts of our being, 6 emotions, 7 principles. Simple. Now, 3 of those emotions, right? 3 of those emotions I just learned about. Mad, sad, and scared. There's certain questions that you ask when you are approached by an emotional situation. All of the emotions can fit onto, like, it's just like colors, right? Where you got the color chart, and from those basic primary colors, you're able to make other colors. You understand? So you got 6 emotions that you're able to formulate other emotions from. So you break it down to the basic emotions, and you're able to ask certain questions when you feel a certain way, when you're feeling uncomfortable. And this is what our children need to learn. This is what we need to learn as adults so that we can start communicating with each other a lot better, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, because the wolf and the fox could have solved their issue long before they took it to a third party outside of both of them to solve it, if they knew how to communicate. But they didn't have trust because their relationship wasn't there. A relationship between them wasn't there. They couldn't even communicate. 2 different communication styles. So they needed a third party. And that third party judged both of them. Right? And we know the Ape be up to some bullshit too. You know what I'm saying? We know the Ape be up to some bullshit. But he judged them.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them. He judged both of them guilty. He called one a liar and the other a thief. And even though I don't think you stole anything, he said, Wolf, I don't believe anything was stolen from you, you liar. And Fox, I'm quite sure you stole it.
Wow.
And that's just how we are approached when we in court.
Hey, you know what? And sometimes that's how, you said the last part, it reminded me of how some parents are with their children.
Oh, man.
Group them all up. Now, I know this is, you know?
Oh, man.
I don't know who did it, but tell you the example.
Right. I'm going to beat all y'all ass. How about that? So I make sure I get the right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because and like I said, I'm gonna talk about a lot of this in the morning. For those that don't know, I do a toast on Umoja through Nia. I do a toast at 4:15 in the morning, live on Facebook. Those that want to salute their personal ancestors, because I'm only saluting personal ancestors. So y'all can leave Malcolm X, y'all can leave Martin Luther King, y'all can leave Marcus Garvey, y'all can leave all those there. We're saluting our personal ancestors, right, on the morning. Shouts out to Bob Bridges. Shouts out to Deanna Johnson. Thank you for stopping in. But the whole piece, man, the whole piece is culturally. Well, let me put it this way. Culture is, I can't even use the term important. It's beyond that. Right? And once we really establish culture, not only will we benefit, but this whole country will benefit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ruin what I'm gonna go into tomorrow morning. I'm just trying to save it up for tomorrow morning, right? Because it's some stuff that we got totally twisted. And like I said, man, these folk tales and stuff, man, they line up. For those that are new, I'm going to read it again, and then we're going to shut this down. It's called The Wolf, the Fox, and the Ape. A wolf accused the fox of theft, but the fox entirely denied the charge. An ape undertook to adjudge the matter between them. When each had fully stated his case, the ape announced his sentence. I do not think you, wolf, ever lost what you claim. And I do believe you, fox, to have stolen what you so stoutly deny. The moral is the dishonest, if they act honestly, get no credit. Watch your character. But once again, your character is shaped by the culture you come from. And if you come from a culture of strippers and dope dealing and, you know, I mean, what is the culture?
You become Richard Pryor.
You get Richard Pryor, right? Damn, that is Richard Pryor, ain't it? But then, you know what was crazy? Richard Pryor was the one, in a sense, made it out. But even when he made it out, he still was in his own personal hell. Because how many Richard Pryors didn't make it out? You understand what I'm saying? Richard Pryor represented one that was able to overcome. But if there was something to overcome, we know there was plenty of them that drowned. You understand what I'm saying? Young people that was exposed to fuckery, young people that was exposed to poison, young people that was exposed to things they shouldn't have. See, in culture protects the young people. It protects them from things they don't need to see. But now it's all open, right? I mean, I still to this day cannot believe what we as a black community allow to be played on the radio. It's okay. But you know, we have come up with ways to protect those that would feed our children poison. And we use terms like hater or Uncle Tom or you just old fashioned. You know what I'm saying? We come up with these terms to protect to protect those that are poisoning us. To protect those that are destroying our future.
Once again, Hatem, I gotta flip the coin on you.
Go ahead.
You ever heard of what's it called, a K2? K2, the fake marijuana they sell at the gas stations and the head shop?
Yeah.
Man, that stuff is straight poison. Straight poison. And have you heard of the effects of this stuff?
No.
People actually, they go into a psychedelic trip and they kill they kill and rape their mamas sometimes. It's reported stories of this K2 stuff. And when you go and buy it, it says straight on the package, not for consumption. It's an incense. But people steadily buying up and consuming it, even beyond that, because of what they perceive it to be.
Now, but check this out.
Weed.
Check this out. Let's take it a step farther. Why would somebody buy something where it clearly says on the package, not for consumption? I mean, really, think about it. With somebody with a purpose, and I ain't talking about just I want to go get high, that type. I'm talking about a life purpose, a goal in life. Would they go out and do that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? How many of these motherfuckers wanted to be doctors? How many of them wanted to be how many of them had a goal 5 years from now? You understand what I'm saying? We have a generation of young people on the sea of life without rudders. They don't have rudders. They just spinning in a circle and they're looking for a way out. But they too scared to kill themselves. Right? And adults are too scared of them to say, hey, here, let me help you put this rudder in so you can get it. Because they can't accept the anger that our young people are having because they're upset with us because we failed them. Bob Bridges said, man has used substance to alter the mind since the beginning of time. K2 phenomenon is due to the war on drugs. I could dig that too. That's a piece of it too. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I mean, you go up into what's them woods I go to? You go up into High Banks and find some healthier mind altering stuff up there in them woods in High Banks than you can with that K2. But then again, you could go crazy and kill yourself too. I'm sorry, you're right. I mean, what's it? I mean, but human beings have, and he does have a point. Human beings have had it, but usually, for a lot of those type of substances, to use those, people didn't just randomly go out and get them. They usually was an apprentice or they was part of a ceremony that somebody who was experienced with it would give it to them. So that when they started tripping, they could be calmed down until the effects of the drug wore off.
And their visions can be explored.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because I want you to understand, like stuff that is super mind altering, right? If you are not grounded, you will lose your mind. If you don't have somebody to guide you through it, you will go crazy. I mean, when I was at the, I was blessed enough, through my elder Gaylord, he sent me to the Sundance. He sent me to a Sundance. And I can't remember the reservation we were on. But they had peyote. They had a peyote ceremony. And our tent wasn't that far away from where they was doing the ceremony. They had a teepee set up, and inside they was in there doing the peyote ceremony, and they had like these water. It was like a water rattle that they was shaking all night. And I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. And the elder I was with, my older brother's like, nah, you're not ready for that ritual. You have to go through a couple more years of this, and then we could talk about you doing the peyote. You're not ready for that. I got to get you ceremonially ready for that. If that's something you want to do, we go on that path. And at that moment, I didn't understand or feel him. But I listened to him because he was my older brother. I wasn't going to violate the rules there because it was rules there. There's a culture. I ain't going to violate the culture. You know what I'm saying? But the issue is, he let me know that even with that, with the Native Americans, there was a ritual. With ayahuasca, there's a ritual. With mushrooms, in most cases, when you really are taking it in a ceremony, I mean, you're taking those in ceremony. You ain't just taking those as recreation. They're not recreational drugs. They are drugs that will bring you into alignment with the higher powers. But you need somebody that's been there before you to help guide you, because they experience what you experience. They familiar with the feelings. They could calm you down because I've been where you're about to go. So I need you to trust me, and I need you to shake this rattle while you tripping. Keep the rattle going. You know what I'm saying? It'll help.
Right.
It'll help get you focused. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody is singing. You know what I'm saying? Because this random drug taking for young people, it's a result of the war on drugs, but it's also a result of our young people trying to escape this purposeless existence. I want y'all to think about this. You're young. You got exposure to everything that's going on in this world, and you're told every day that you got to go and sit in a room for 8 hours a day. Get released for lunch for about half an hour, and then come back and sit for the rest of the day. And then come home. Right? And then have access to all of this again. And you got to do this over and over again. And people are telling you that we're getting you prepared for the future, where you can get a job. And you look at your parents and you see your parents are not satisfied with their job. As a matter of fact, one of your parents may have to work 2 of them motherfuckers so that they can make it possible so that you can live basically. They're not happy. Mm-hmm. And you're being prepared to launch into a life of unhappiness. Would you want to do it? I mean, even though some of it we already did, we already took the plunge, do you want to live the existence that they are painting for our kids?
Hey, and once again, man, going back to that whole fox is raising the dolphin.
The fox.
It's like the dolphins really can't connect with you. Can't climb that tree like the wolf. You can't, because they already seen a totally different perspective of what their future is, which is totally disconnected from your past.
Right. And on top of that, unlike any other time in history, they are exposed to extravagance every day. Leave it alone. No, I'll give you some later. My daughter asked for some ambrosia. They're exposed to extravagance every day through the tube. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank everybody that took the time to stop in. I want to thank Brother Shaka for joining us on the show once again. Let's give him a round of applause. Well, that's the wrong round. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so I want everybody to remember that we do the Daily Toast every morning at 4. I don't know, man. I'm working on that. I get the bloopers out. But every morning at 4:15, I toast the ancestors. So be sure to join me for the Daily Toast. Also, I do shows on Kujichagulia and Ujima. So I got a show tomorrow. Make sure you join me. That one is going to be the Proverbs, and it's going to split your wig. All right. I want to thank Shaka for joining me and allowing me to use his music for my broadcast as well. He didn't know that, but you know what I'm saying? We are out.